What up, party people? Welcome to a recap of week 5. This is going to be a different video because we just came off of Thanksgiving and my wife and I were traveling to go see my family. So I didn't have the same equipment that I usually have, meaning my scale, tape measure, camera. I didn't bring any of that stuff with us. We were able to spend a lot of quality time together, which in the big picture is what matters. Is, are you spending quality time with family or people that care about you? And that was a huge bonus for the weekend. Now, some of the strategies and the tools that I was using over the weekend to not go overboard like most people do for Thanksgiving, I was able to pay more attention to what I was consuming based on these tools. So let's get into them. The biggest one that I was using was just overall awareness. And I kind of have talked about this in a few of the previous videos, but what I'm talking about here is more what I was eating and just my headspace around when and what I was eating. So breakfast, lunch, and dinner, they all took a lot longer because we were socializing around the table, and you're not just mowing down as you would if you were sitting down watching a TV show. So there's a lot more into it, or a lot more involved than just sitting there and just devouring a plate of food. There's a lot more patience and just you slow down. And so I found that I wasn't consuming as much, and I wasn't actually eating to the nth degree like I usually do, and is sort of expected nowadays in society that you go ham on or you just go as hard as you can and eat as much food as you can because you're quote unquote allowed. And I don't particularly buy into that, and that's just my personal take on it, but that's how I chose to go about it. So the first one was just overall awareness of what I was eating. The second one is I was eating a lot slower, and the first two really go together. As you can imagine, the slower you're eating, and again, the more you're paying attention to the people around you and around the table, you just eat slower by happenstance. Because I was socializing with my cousins and my auntie and my sister, and so again, you're not just plowing through a plate of food. Number 3 was I ate till I was just about full. Like, I didn't eat till I was stuffed. I ate till I was probably about 80-90% full, sort of the leave a little bit for dessert sort of tactic. And it worked perfectly. There was maybe one time out of the entire weekend where I ate a little bit too much and I felt a little bit bloated and a little bit too full. But overall, like, that was remarkable, especially for me with a history of overeating and just like going all out. So that was a huge win for me, especially given that with my family I tend to snack a lot, or there's a lot of unnecessary snacking or poor food choices or whatever. However, this time there was a lot less of that, which I was really stoked on. Tool number 4 that I used over the weekend was how I was constructing my plate. And what I mean by that is I wanted to build my plate so that there was noticeable categories of food. So I had my protein, and I had my starchy carbs in mashed potatoes. Oh, so good. And then I had salad. And those were the 3 main components that we had for our Thanksgiving dinner. We had stuffing and we had a lot of the other fixings, but I don't really care for stuffing, and I knew that was just going to be overload for me. For you, whatever that works. For me, I stuck with those 3 main categories. And if it wasn't a salad, it was roasted veggies, or it was more of a vegetable core versus just stuffing, mashed potatoes, gravy, and like cranberry sauce or anything like that. It was a very distinct trifecta, if you will. Protein, veggies, starchy carbs in my mashed potatoes. And that's what I did. And I tried to stick as close to that throughout the entire weekend because we had multiple family dinners, and that worked like a charm. And again, I found that the combination of the content on my plate plus eating slower, being more aware, paying more attention to my surroundings, all of those factors resulted in me not eating nearly as much as I would have in the past, or as I would with any other family dinner. So that was a huge win again for me. Tool number 5, and this is the last one that I'm going to end with. The whole weekend, looking big picture now versus looking quite minuscule and micro, the whole weekend is about quality time and spending it with family. And that was the biggest thing. So again, with my family, there is a lot of tendency to snack or eat excess stuff. And we did a little bit of that, I'll admit, that's fine. But the big thing was that it was surrounded by quality time with people that I love and people that love me. And so overall, it was a great stress-free, relatively stress-free, or it was a stress relief to be with my family. And so again, looking big picture, that's what it's really all about. That's why we are doing these things to maintain a healthy lifestyle. It's really why we do this, or at least why I do it, is so that I can maintain a good, healthy lifestyle and enjoy the people that are around me. And so that gets a little bit like nebulous, and it's really hard to make concrete, but to me it's a huge factor. And going into the weekend thinking about that, and instead of thinking about, oh, what am I going to eat, is there going to be this type of food, is there going to be this type of food, or like, oh no, there's going to be stuffing, I can't control myself around stuff, like that wasn't the issue. It was just going into the weekend like, this is going to be a great weekend, I'm going to have a ton of fun, I'm going to relax, it's going to be a good stress relief weekend for me. That's all that I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed. I'll get back to getting regular measurements next week. And until then, have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next time.